It continues to be a rough commute for people in the San Francisco Bay Area today. Workers for the region's biggest transit system walked off the job for the second time in 4 months, putting the nation's fifth largest public transportation system at a standstill. And the walkout began at midnight on Thursday after the latest round of union negotiations fell apart. Joining us now to discuss the latest in the transit strike is Chris Daly, the political director for the Service Employees International Union. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
So Chris, just tell us, what's the latest? Where do things stand right now in terms of the negotiations?
The latest is that BART unions, including SEIU Local 10 to 1, are out on strike after marathon negotiating sessions that were being mediated by the top federal mediator. BART basically blew the negotiations up by inserting an 11th hour poison pill on work rules that would have really compromised workers' voice on the job. We had reached basically agreement on a framework on economic. We met the employer on their demands on health care. We met the employer on their demands on pension. We were basically there on a wage proposal. And then in the end, the BART general manager negotiating team and BART board blew it up and left us no choice but to go out on strike today.
And so, when you say they put a poison pill in there, tell us what that is.
The work rule in question is called beneficial past practices. So for those online watching who are, work for labor unions or work in labor law or contract, they probably get it. But it's basically the rule that ensures that BART engages with workers and with the unions if they want to do something dramatic like make one of our workers who works in a certain shop all of a sudden relocate to another shop 75 miles away. And that's a deal breaker for us. The irony here, of course, is that BART didn't talk about that particular work rule for over 140 days of the negotiations. They were focused on another work rule, which they called the 40-hour work week, that we actually conceded on earlier in the week. And so it appears to us that BART management overreached. They inserted this poison pill, and they illegally, because it's a non-mandatory subject of bargaining, linked this work rule to the economic package. And so we're out on an unfair labor practice strike today. We did it with some heavy hearts because we know the inconvenience that this causes, and we feel really bad about it.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about too. And by the way, just so the viewers know, just so the viewers know, where you are. Obviously, you're outside. You're taking part there at the strike. But there are some 400,000 people in the Bay Area that do depend on the public transportation system there a day. And, I think that a lot of people are obviously concerned now in terms of how they're going to get to work, how they're going to get around, whether they have to look into alternative means of transportation. And so how long will you let this strike continue?
Our intent was to get a deal and not to strike. We extended several strike deadlines. I was in bargaining for 30 hours, literally, nonstop, without any rest. We thought we were there. And then BART inserted this 11th hour poison pill. It was actually well after the 11th hour. And unfortunately, it's a basic worker rights issue, a basic union issue. And one, it's a poison pill. We can't swallow it. And so we're left with no choice. It's unfortunate. Our members know the gravity of the situation. They're the ones who are working to make sure the system runs so that, on every other day, folks can get to work and get to, medical appointments, can reunite with their families, go visit friends, etc. That's the work we do. We do it with a great deal of pride. And so, it stings to have to do this. But we know full well that we were forced into this strike by BART's outside negotiator with a reputation for union busting and for a reputation of hard bargaining into transit strikes as a tactic. And ultimately, they left us with no choice.
All right, Chris, and before I let you go here too, would you mind, if you can, with the camera, kind of showing us showing us around where you are, what the scene is like, how many people are out there striking?
Yeah, the picket is on a brief strike, but we are here in front of the Lake Merritt BART station. We're gearing up in about 45 minutes or an hour for a big rally where community groups from Oakland and from around the Bay will be joining with workers in solidarity. Hopefully we'll be able to exercise some union power and get quick resolution so we can get the system back running and so our members can get back to work.
All right.
Let's not forget lots of folks are impacted. No one is more impacted than BART workers.
Great. All right, Chris. Well, it froze a little bit, the video there, but we saw a little bit. Thanks for showing us, and thanks for joining me today.
All right. Thank you.
Stick around. There's plenty more coming up on HuffPost Live.